Did I give you any task last week? Did I give you any work?
Yes, ma'am. To find out definitions of guidance and counseling of some experts,
Mm.
William Proctor, George Myers, Herbert Hawkins, Carl Rogers, Pepensky, and Mohan.
Yeah. Okay. How many could you find?
Madam, I was able to find 4 definitions of those experts. And other 2, I was unable to find the definition, ma'am.
I also, ma'am, I googled, but I found only 3.
Okay. Right. We'll see. I'm searching for new shared.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Could you please give me 1 minute to get something clarified? This is regarding the last lesson that we did on last Saturday.
Okay, sure.
Ma'am, when we are questioned like this, write the principles of guidance. There are 5 basic principles of guidance. And
Okay.
also, according to Crow and Crow's principles of guidance, there are 13. So, what should be the answer? I mean, those basic
Okay.
five basic principles or those 13?
Yes, because that 5 basic principles you have to, because that is given by some other professional. So now,
Right.
now professionals, they tell different things. Now, if you consider about this Crow and Crow, George Myers, they give their own definitions. So we can just have our own definition when we are writing the answer. Or else that if there's a definition that is used by many or prescribed, then we can use. But anyway, that principles, they don't change. These 5 principles, they don't change. That others, they can tell anything. That is their view.
Right, ma'am.
So,
Okay. Got
right?
it, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Then tell me the definitions that you have got. I'll try my best to do this slideshow thing. Right. Okay. So now tell, first of all, your definitions. Who would like to tell your definition? Okay, hurry up.
Hello, madam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. William Proctor says that guidance is a process through which an individual or groups of individuals are helped to make necessary adjustment to the environment inside or outside the school.
Okay.
And according to Herbert Hawkins, he says education is guidance, guidance is education.
Yes, correct.
And according to Carl Rogers,
Carl Rogers.
The process by which the structure of the self is relaxed in the safety of the client relationship with the therapist and previously desired experiences are perceived and then integrated into an altered self. Actually, this is the definition for counseling, no ma'am?
Yes,
I
counseling,
googled and I
yes.
found, yes, right. And then Pepinski. He says, counseling is that interaction which occurs between two individuals called counselor and client. It takes place in a professional setting and is initiated. Yes. It takes place in a professional.
It is about a definition on counseling.
Yes, yeah. Integrated and maintained to facilitate changes in the behavior of client. I was able to find the definition of these 4 authors only, ma'am. Other 2, George Myers and Mohan, I was unable to find the definition, ma'am.
Okay, right.
Ma'am, additionally to the what Miss Shakira said, I would like to add something about the vocational guidance said by George Myers. Um,
Okay,
he
that's
says,
great.
he says vocational guidance is the process of assisting the individual to
Mm.
do for himself certain definite things pertaining to his vocation.
Yeah.
I found additionally.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, good. That's great. Any other definitions found by others? Because sometimes that same person have given different definitions to the same.
Can you hear me?
Others could not find. Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you
Bita. Yeah.
hear me? William Proctor.
Mm.
Guidance is assistance made available by personally qualified and adequately trained men or women to an individual of any age to help him manage his own affairs, develop his own points of view, make his own decisions, and carry out those decisions.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Any other? Right. So you can exchange these things, right? Because now these are the things that we have in our syllabus. Our guidance and counseling, we have these definitions, but you have something else. But anyway, that your definition, now these definitions are easier, right? That you can remember, and they are so close to us. We can remember all these things, right? So good that you can exchange. If you have a group, you can write the definitions, you can just circulate, and others also will write down them. Right. So today we are going to learn about social guidance. Any other thing that you need to get clarified, that like one of your friends wanted to clarify, like is there anything that you want to get clarified related to the previous lesson? No? Right, okay. So we will discuss about social guidance, right? This is very, very important, right? So now it is very, very important for you as well as when you bring up your children, because now the parents, they pet their children to the maximum. And when they come to the society, it's very difficult for them to adjust, because we witness that in the college. There are some students that they can't adjust to the environment because everything has been done by their parents, washing their clothes, even trimming their nails. They have been petted to the maximum. So when they come here, they have to get everything done by themselves. They find lots of difficulties. Sometimes it's a trouble for the others. They expect others, they get others to do that and make troubles if they don't do. So therefore, when you bring up your children, whenever you have your children, that you have to bring them up in a way that they can adjust to the society very quickly, right? So then students face a lot of problems in their social relationships. Here it is not the social relationships I am telling, not the love affairs. That's also the same. Now, if we consider about a place like ours, that means colleges of education, they come from different family backgrounds, different areas, different societies. Sometimes the child is the only child in the family. Sometimes this child has so many siblings. So now when it comes from the only child or only girl from the family or only boy, so then everything has been done by the parents. Washing clothes. So when they come here, they can't do their own work. It poses a lot of problem for the others. Now, if I give you some examples, now from one dormitory, that some children came and said that there's one girl who wants to get everything done by the others. If they don't do that, they get angry. That particular girl gets angry. So even that when I want, so they want to suffer. everything to her, even washing clothes, even trimming her nails and everything. She can't do anything on her own. So she has become a real nuisance to everybody. And she couldn't adjust to the environment, to the dormitory. And so now when things happen, the news goes around. So then she wanted to change her dormitory. So when I inquire from the others, they did not want to stay in that dormitory, and others don't like to take her to their dormitory. Finally, she had to remain in the same. So these are the problems. Now, very recently, there was a girl who came from Kandy, and so she because we have already completed the recruitment, but when there are vacancies, we call from the waiting list. We call. So, and she has called her parents back. They were going home, and they were in the highway, and they have come back. She wanted to go home with them. So then the Ohio authority, they had to convince the parents and the child. Finally, when I went to the dorm, that she was vomiting and she was lifeless. So anyway, that finally I could ask some other students in the dormitory to be friendly with her and to look after her for some days. Now I think she has got adjusted. So this is the life, because they are petted by the parents a lot. And when they come to a place like that, it's very difficult for them to adjust. So it is a nuisance to the others, nuisance to the authority. And the parents are also repenting because this one can't do anything. So it takes time for them to get adjusted to the environment. So when you adopt children, you have to keep it in mind to do it, because let them do their work on their own rather than doing everything. Because even when they go to schools, that either my mother or father is carrying the bag also. They are just going with their bare hands, and they are having all the luxuries, and parents are suffering. So this should not be done, right? So then students develop social relationships and have social interactions with others from different social backgrounds. That I told, they are coming from different social backgrounds. Some are from high-class families, some are from status, some parents are doctors, professors, and some parents are farmers, laborers, sellers. So therefore, some students may face difficulty in adjusting to the environment. So now, after having all the luxuries at home, if they come to a place like a dormitory, it's very difficult for them to adjust, because they have to share the same toilet. They have a small space to stay. They have a lot of work, heavy workload from morning till evening. Right? Social guidance plays a major role. It helps the individual to develop feelings of social acceptance and social adjustment. So it's very, very important. If you are not accepted by the society, you can't remain. If you feel you are isolated, you have been ill-treated, it's very difficult for a person, right? So social adjustment also very, very important. You should be able to adjust to the environment quickly without taking much time. Then social guidance teaches individuals to be tolerant towards others. Now here, now in a dormitory, I told you that when there's a child who is a difficult child, others have to tolerate. Once again, I think, right? And help them to develop feelings of social acceptance and social security. Now, in such cases, when everybody is refusing her not to take her to their dormitories, then people in the dormitory, they have to tolerate her, provided by educational institutes. So that's why the schools now, children can do their studies anywhere. Even that now in the future, there will be home-based learning. They will learn from home and they will go to school only 1 or 2 days. But that is not the only thing we gain from the school, not only the education. We gain lots of things from school. What are they? What kind of things we gain from the school? A child gains from the school? Tell me. Okay, tell. Why it is important to send a child to school? Because sometimes parents are knowledgeable, they can hire teachers, they can spend money for the child, they can keep the child at home and teach rather than sending them to school. So what do they learn from the school?
To work together with the others. I mean, to get socialized.
What's that, Putta?
Because rather than hiring teachers for an individual student, when they go to school, there are peer groups. I mean, there are friends, teachers, uh, peer groups. So he or she can get socialized rather than learning individually.
Okay. What do you mean by socialize? What kind of things they do
They learn how
with
to
others?
share things and how to share knowledge and
Hmm.
other things and
Hmm.
how to work in groups.
How to solve problems together?
Problem.
Okay, good. So that is why we need to send the children to school, because they learn lots of things rather than learning alone, right? So it's informally provided by the family and media, right? So one is that family should give all these good qualities to the students before they go to school, to work with others, to respect others' ideas, listen to them, right? All these things. Then it's basically should be given by the family. Then the individual learn to adjust with various people in the society. So once the child goes to school, the child learns all these things from others. Right. Then next one, moral guidance. Why it is important, moral guidance? What do you mean by moral guidance? Tell me. What is this? The feeling of good and bad, do's and don'ts, do's and taboos. Taboos means should not do, right? We know that we have certain values in this society, some traditions, some accepted rules and regulations. So they are not actually rules and regulations that we have imposed on our own. Now, in other countries, that they can kiss a couple in public, but do we do it here in Sri Lanka? We have a certain culture, we don't accept that. We don't accept karanne, right? So there are certain moral values that we use according to certain guidelines in our country, according to culture. So moral guidance should be provided at all ages of life, because that we have to give this when the child is very small. This is good, this is bad, we should not harm people, harm animals. We should not, we have to tell truth all the time. Should not tell lies. So like that, we should not harm others. If we harm others, we have to think that we have to get ourselves as example. If this happens to me, what will happen? So like that, we have to teach all these good things from the very beginning of life. Right. Then that is how we can guide the child to the correct path. Right. Then health guidance. Tell me, what is health guidance and how can we give this? I'm not going to talk now. You tell me. You must be, if you are teachers, you must be doing that. If you have kids, if you are kids that you're sending to school, they must be doing in the school. Tell me, what is health guidance? How can we do that? When should we start it? Anybody would like to express your ideas? You have to talk, then only you will remember. Yeah.
We are guiding the children how to cultivate good health habits.
Oh, what kind of health habits we can inculcate in them?
Washing the hands before eating,
Right.
and how regarding the diseases and the spread of diseases,
right? Then washing hands with soap
Yes.
after using toilet. Then we have to now we have to teach them you should not eat fruits without washing. You should not eat fruits that they are fallen under a tree, because they must be damaged by some worms, and sometimes if you eat them you will get certain diseases, right? What else? What are other things rather than that?
Regarding personal hygiene, madam.
Yes. What kind of thing?
Regular exercises.
Regular exercises. Then cleanliness, පිරිසිදුව ඉන්න එක, right? Because there are some children who don't like to take bath frequently and they don't wash their clothes, but it's very harmful. They may cause some rashes, wounds, right? So then we have to keep ourselves clean, keeping our clothes clean, wear clean clothes. Then what else? And we have to teach them about this. We have to make them aware about these venereal diseases, HIV and AIDS. Now here recently, we got a priest for a sermon at our college before the Poya Day. He's a principal of a school, and he said that he frequently go to the prison for sermon. And there he has found 2 boys who have been imprisoned in a cell, 17 years old, who are suffering from HIV. They have gone with a foreigner, right? Foreigner, to earn some money to buy a phone. Phone එකක් ගන්න සල්ලි හොයාගන්න foreigner කෙනෙක් එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා. So he has got HIV. So these 2 little children, they have got HIV. Now they are just like mad people. They are behaving like that. Therefore, they are kept in cells safely. So therefore, we have to make our children aware about all these things from the very beginning. So you may get you are on a risk of these things if you just go with people, because now there are some children that who earn money from different ways. And now when foreigners come, especially in the beach area, both boys and girls, that they tend to get become victims of them. Right. So then we have to impart knowledge on health. We have to, through educate, that is also kind of education we give them. Even that now here, I don't know that during the past few months, some scholars got together and they prepared some materials for sex education in Sri Lanka. So if it is gone to the syllabus or to the schools, it would be very, very helpful, because there are some students who fall into troubles without knowing. So therefore, it's very important to give them education on sex education, right? So imparting education and information related to health must be mandatory in school. So therefore, this is very, very important to give knowledge about health hazards, how to prevent from these things, and what should be done to improve our health factor, right? So it helps for the healthy development of students. Right. Health guidance should be given as a cooperative effort. So who can get together to make the children aware about this health? Who can give health guidance? Tell me.
Teachers, principals.
Right. Medical officer of health.
MOH.
Doctors. Yes, MOH, right. So then school can organize some clinics for the students, right, to check their teeth, even for vaccination of rubella, and providing vitamins to check their health condition, right? All these things, the school can organize health clinics for the students. Right, this is related to vocational guidance. Right, objectives of guidance at the primary education stage. So what are the objectives? You tell me, you read this and tell me, and you can elaborate on this. I don't need to read, you just tell me. What are the objectives?
Developing better attitude.
Towards the school activities. Now, there are some students who feel that no use of going to school. ඉස්කෝලේ ගිහින් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඉගෙනගෙන මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? කාටද හරි ගිහින් තියෙන්නේ. So there are some kind of negative attitudes of the students related to school. Now, if they find it's very difficult to follow the syllabus or if they can't perform well, they develop negative attitudes. They think, okay, now I'll go up to grade 11 to get the certificate and I will go for a job. Now it is now recently we went for block teaching to one of the schools and the teachers said that the most of the students' idea is that they just want to go to grade 11, not to pass the exam. After that, their relatives are there in some other countries and they will get them there for cleaning jobs and for working in supermarkets like that. So we should not allow that kind of attitude to be built up. So we have to help the students to develop good attitudes towards school activities and education and future, those who are to trust on education, right? Then it enables the children to adapt to the traditions and regulations of the school. So now when we adapt, we have to adapt them to respect and follow the rules and regulations of the school. It assists the students in developing their physical and emotional stability in a balanced manner. How can we do that? Tell me. How can the school do this? How can the school help the students to develop their physical and emotional stability?
Sports meet.
Through sports meet. What else?
Tamil days.
Yeah, Tamil Day, Sinhala Day, English Day. Right. Then concerts, right? Entertainment activities. Then religious activities, emotional stability. Right. So like that, they can organize lots of entertainment and religious activities in the school. Then it enables the students to identify their problems regarding adjustment with the school environment. So then if sometimes there are some children who are crying every day. They don't like to come to school. So then we have to make them aware about the problems that they have, why they can't adjust to the school environment. Then we should make the students independent. We should not make them dependent. That's why when they come to a place, when they become adults, and even when they come to a place like the colleges of education, they are dependent on others. So we should not let that happen. It ensures cooperation among the students. So now guidance help the children to work together, respect others' ideas, assist others. It facilitates the transition of students from primary to high school. So then primary students that from the primary grades, they go to higher education, then they should have the qualities of adjusting to the environment. It provides information to children regarding high school, right? So they already know all these things when they go to the next class. The objectives of guidance at the secondary stage. Okay, tell me about this. Okay, you discuss now. Don't keep quiet, you talk. Then only that you are getting interest in this and you learn something. You can share your ideas with others. What are the objectives of guidance for secondary students, secondary stage students? No, what's that objective? To make them familiar, the school environment, and help them to cooperate with the classmates, to work together with them. Then it enables the students to critically analyze the subject options. What do you mean by subject options? Yeah, what is subject options? What do you mean by subject options? Especially when they select their A-level subjects.
A-level subject.
Yeah. They critically analyze. If I select bioscience, am I good at it? Will I be able to pass the exam? If I select commerce subjects, will I be able to pass? Because I have only a B pass for maths. So will I be able to do the work? So like that, they critically analyze when selecting subjects for A-levels. Right. It encourages the students to participate in co-curricular activities according to their skills. So then if they are good at singing, dancing, they take part in them very happily. There are some students who are good at gardening, right? Painting. So then once their needs are identified and they are given some task according to their skills, they are successful. Then they are very happy. Next one, to ensure that the students grow in a healthy environment. What do you mean by healthy environment? Just tell me. And have a healthy mind and body. We have to make sure the students are growing in a healthy environment. What is this? What do you mean by healthy environment?
With
Yes.
a healthy environment mean with a positive impact on their growth, madam, without being misleaded or
How?
something.
That means without having a bad peers.
Yeah.
And even there are some families that whose father is a drunkard and he is coming home and hit everybody. So then sometimes the students have to face a lot of difficulties. He is telling filthy words, don't let them work, do homework. So then again, is this a healthy environment for them to grow up?
No.
No, it's not.
No. Then again, so now if they are in a slum area, they always hear filthy words and they see all the bad work they do, selling drugs, killing people, planning and all. Are they in a healthy environment? Do they have a healthy mind and a healthy body?
No, definitely not.
No. Even when they don't have food to eat, if they are suffering from economic problems, though they are in a happy family, if they are suffering from economic problems, again, they are not growing in a healthy environment. So meet the individual and social needs of adolescents. So adolescents' needs are very much different than the students in the primary classes. So therefore, their social needs. What are the social needs of adolescents? Tell me some of them. What are the social needs of adolescents? Now we are what are the social needs?
Discipline.
It's a need. Discipline is a need
Discipline.
for them. They want to be accepted by others. Especially, they like to form gangs. They want to take the leadership, and then they think that they can take on decisions on their own. They don't need the help of the parents. They think they are independent. So therefore, parents should not put their fingers into everything of these children, right? So then, but they have to be behind them and guide them all the time. So then they have some social needs like acceptance. They should be accepted by others and listen to them. They need the leadership, right? Appreciation. So these things should be given. Guide. Amrita? Yeah, tell. What did you tell? Okay. Guidance try to create an environment feasible for the healthy growth and development of the students. So then through guidance, they get a healthy environment for healthy growth. The objectives of guidance at the higher level of education, tertiary education. Okay, tell me, what are the objectives?
It aims to inform the student about the process of admission to colleges and universities.
Yes,
It means
yes.
now they are to enter to colleges or university. Mean they should definitely they need a guidance how to fill up a application form, what courses they need to choose.
Closing dates.
Yeah.
Requirements. Right. Yes, that's true. Then, next up, what else? It gives information about
co-curricular activities.
Yeah. Tell me some co-curricular activities they can take part in a university. Actually, I work in the Colombo University on Sundays, and most of the time I hear there's a place where girls and boys gather. They are doing drama, singing, dancing. It's really nice. They're so clever. Actually, they are doing nice things. It's very pleasing to hear, listen to their voices. So they get together, they form their own dancing items, different things. Right. So what kind of co-curricular activities they can engage in the university or in the college?
Debates.
Debates, yeah.
Sports activities. I mean, inter-college
What
sports meets.
sports.
They
Yeah.
organize
Sports.
cultural events, exhibitions. Cultural events, ma'am. They hold
They can
cultural
have
events.
cultural events, exhibitions. Yes. Yes, yes. Cultural events, field trips, right? They can have field trips, right? So it aims to help the students choose subjects and programs that can help them build a bright future. So as you told, they can take part in inter-college activities. They know that they can compete with others and they are capable of doing things, right? So now there are certain competitions like Olympiad, chess competitions. So there are so many activities they can take part in. Then guidance aims to help students who drop out school at an early age. They are given the advice to attend either the technical colleges. There they can follow automobile engineering, carpentry, mason work, electric work. Then what else? What are the others we can advise them? To enter some other institutes where according to their skills and qualifications, there are so many places, right? Right. Then it's easy for them to find a course to improve their skills and find a career for themselves. It aims to develop an environment conducive to the educational and social needs of the students, right? Then once we find the problems they have, educational problems and social problems, we can help them to overcome the problems. Right. Tell me this one, developmental functions of guidance. Tell me, what is it? And just explain a little bit. Okay, first up. What do you mean by self-realization?
He or she is able to understand who he or she is. It means
Yes.
they can know their strengths, weaknesses.
Yeah, okay, right. Self-realization. What strengths? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How can I improve my strengths? How can I overcome my weaknesses? Right? Okay. Number two, what do you mean by self-development? . 。  . Yes, what do you mean by self-development?
If he or she has weaknesses, how
Mm.
to get rid of those weaknesses, how to avoid those weaknesses, and how to convert those weaknesses into his strengths.
Yes, okay. What else? Then again, it helps the national development. National development means we, through education of Sri Lanka, we produce some
A
products to the
productive
system.
citizen to the country.
What is that?
A productive citizen to the country.
Yes, productive citizen to the country. So not only that he is good at skills, but he is good at knowledge, attitude, good attitudes, good habits and customs, right? Guidance ensures that an individual can live peacefully in his environment. So if there are troublesome people around him, he won't be able to live peacefully. So in order to have peaceful citizens, give me 1 minute, Luca. Oh, sorry. Fine. So then, what do you mean by self-development of an individual? Self-development, they develop on their own through guidance. They develop on their own rather than the advice of others. And it helps in national development because they contribute to the gross development productivity of the country. රටේ ආදායමට economy එකට ඒගොල්ලෝ දායක වෙනවා. That is how we can develop our country. It helps the individual for adjusting to the environment such as school, college, workplace, or even home. So this guidance, this process help them to adjust to the environment. I told you that the girl who came from Kandy wanted to go home soon after stepping into the dormitory. But anyway, that we gave her guidance, we found her some friends and helped her to adjust to the environment, who was not using common toilet with some other 10-15 children, that she got used to it. Guidance ensures that an individual can live peacefully in his environment. I told you that they can live peacefully if the people around him live peacefully. ඒගොල්ලෝ කරදර කරනවා නම් මෙයාට peacefully ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද? හැමතිස්සෙම කෑ ගහනවා නම්, බීලා කෑ ගහනවා නම්, වැටට රණ්ඩු වෙනවා නම්, හොරකම් කරනවා නම්, so can they live peacefully? If they steal their things and fight for the fences, the boundaries, can they live peacefully?
No, they can't.
No, yeah. So then, in order to live peacefully, that the people around them also should have some kind of education, right? Guidance enables the students to be oriented with the required information that can help solve various problems that may face. So they need lots of information. So if they want to solve certain problems, they need some information, outside information, information from the guides, parents, siblings. Right? Guidance orients an individual to career planning, educational, personal, and social aims. So then, through guidance, they learn how to find this suitable courses, how to improve their skills, how to find a job, how to prosper in the job. So, how to be with others when he goes even to the job, that he has to work with others, teamwork. He can't work alone. He need to work in a team. They have to respect others, accept their ideas, share their ideas. So they like or not, they have to behave with them. So these are very, very important. Okay. Guidance services form an important part of school, college, universities across the world. So these services help the student to adjust to all aspects of their life and develop into responsible citizens of society. Through guidance, they learn to become responsible citizens of the society. That is very important thing. These guidance services consider the unique needs of students and consider that each individual has different social, personal, and emotional needs. I already told everybody is unique. Even the identical twins, they have differences. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හිතන විදිහත් වෙනස්. එයාලගේ ආශාවලුත් වෙනස්. Their interests are different. The way think is different. Their achievements are different. Their future ambitions are different. So there are no even among identical twins who are equal. They are different. Everybody is unique. Basic aim of guidance is complete adjustment and overall development of an individual. Right? We discussed already about this. The aim of guidance is overall development, total development of an individual and total adjustment to the environment. Right. So now anything that you want to get clarified up to this place? Tell me anything you want to get clarified. No?
I'm okay, ma'am.
I'm also okay, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Shall we move to the next one? You don't have any problem?
No, ma'am, we'll move on to the next.
Okay, right. Now, providing guidance to child care providers. Now, do you have children who are staying at daycare centers? No? And do you have any experience of children who have been kept in daycare centers? Right. So then, these are some rules and regulations for the childcare providers. Right now, many are doing this childcare courses to go abroad. So then, these are also very, very important. So then, childcare providers must keep the rules simple and easy to understand for the children. Now here, rather than at home, that these sometimes the students in childcare centers that they learn things very fast. Why? What's the reason? Rather than at home, they learn things fast at the childcare centers. Why? Give me a reason. Because they interact.
Because
Yes, tell me that.
because they are becoming they are interacting with many friends from different environment,
Yes.
so they grab the things easily.
Because they interact. Yes, they grab the things easily with the same age children. Okay, so then these childcare providers, when they teach these little ones, they should give rules, that simple rules. Right? So, gatta sellam baduwa tibba thanimma tiyanna. Like that. So, like that, they can give simple rules to understand for the children. Then, so they have to repeat the rules again and rules again and again. Rather than now like this. Now, if they eat something, the wrappers you should put into the bin. You have to put the wrapper into the bin. Who did this? Pick it up. Now put it into the bin. Okay, good boy. So like that you can repeat it again and again. So you have to tell them you have to help each other. You can share your toys. You can share your food items. So you have to teach good words like please, thank you, sorry. So then you have to teach them to be kind to each other rather than fighting, hitting, and biting, right? So you have to teach them some kind words and kind behavior. So instead of using don't, you can use some other way rather than using don't do that, don't go, don't jump, right? Don't get hurt. Don't කියන වචනේ use කරන්නම හොඳ නැහැ. Instead you can use some other positive verbs or words. Example, you can instead of don't run or stop running, you can say slow down and walk. Like that. Slow down and walk. Don't say stop running. Then don't touch. Don't can use don't touch it. Come hold my hand. Right. So then they will refrain from that work. So then instead of don't climb on the table, keep your feet on the floor. Don't rather than telling stop shouting, we can say use a quiet voice, lower your voice. Then daycare providers must use simple and short sentences for the students to understand. They must make sure to talk to the child rather than shouting at them. We should not shout at children. Right? When talking about right, then they must make sure to talk to the children rather than shouting at them. We should not shout at children. When talking, should maintain eye contact with them. So we have to talk to the child. Because we have to use kind words. We have to talk to them. They should feel that we are talking to them. Right? Then, now they ask lots of questions. You have to respond. Right? You should not evade. You must spare some more time to respond to their questions. Even your little kids, they will ask lots of questions. Because they are analytical thinking, they ask questions and grab them and put into their head. So you should not evade them or tell lies. Right. So how do they learn? These children in the daycare center, how do they learn? They learn by observing. Observing and imitating. Therefore, what they have to do now? Therefore, what should the daycare providers do? They have to use the right words and they have to behave well, because these little kids, they get everything to their head. So you should behave in the childcare people in the childcare unit, they should behave in a very well manner. That has they have to use kind words, right words, right. The children also must be encouraged to behave well. If there are children, sometimes now there are some children who are coming from these bad families. Those the father is very the fighting with others and use bad words. So then we have to encourage these students to behave well. Otherwise, others also will learn the same. Then they have to use simple and clear voice. They have to use. Children must be given simple and clear choices. Choices. What kind of choices they have to have? What choices they going to what they can choose? Tell me what. Especially food. So then when they even sometimes they may not eat vegetables, but you have to teach them to eat vegetables, right? You should not let them refrain from vegetables. Now here, most of the children in our college, they don't like vegetables. They want paripu and something chicken, chicken. So like that, they like fish. So they don't like vegetables. So we have to teach them from the very beginning to eat vegetables. Right. So then we should not force them. බලහත්කාරයෙන් කවන්නත් හොඳ නැහැ, වැඩ කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. So we have to use simple voice, simple diction, simple words, kind voice, right? So we have to slowly adjust them, right? So we should not use negative words, negative ways of adjusting children. අපි එහෙම කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. Then children must be shown respect. ආදරෙන් කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. We have to give due respect to the child. We should not punish the child for anything, for misbehavior, especially in front of others. We should not punish children in front of others. Really bad thing, right? So for otherwise, instead of punishing, we can talk to them in a friendly manner, right? Sometimes we have to punish them. දෙයක් ගහන්න වෙනවා සමහර වෙලාවට, but should not be done in front of others, right? So then we have to isolate them and help them to overcome these bad habits. Right. What else we have to do? Tell me, look at this note and tell me what other things we have to do. Yes, you also contribute. Tell. What
They
should-
must be appreciated, like very good, excellent for their good behavior.
Yes, we have to, even if we notice small good behavior, you have to appreciate them. Then, if we identify bad behavior, how can we do that? Bad behavior එකක් notice කරොත් මොකද කරන්නේ? Are we going to punish the child?
No, without punishing, we can encourage them to do the good. Behaving good behavior.
Yes,
We can encourage them.
avoid refraining from the bad behavior and go for good behavior. Right. Then always encourage the children to behave in the right and positive manner. It should be done from the very beginning. Daycare providers must be good coaches and good guides and teach the children what is right and what is wrong. Right? So they should be able to choose what is right, what is wrong. This is wrong. So we should not make voices when we are eating. We should not spill food everywhere. We have to wash our hands before eating. So they should know what is good and what is bad. At the daycare center, children must be taught social skills. What are the social skills we can teach them? Social skills.
How to talk with others.
Hmm.
How to share things with others.
Yes. What else?
How to play in groups.
Cooperate.
Elders.
How to play fighting with each other.
Yeah, not to fight with each other.
How to
Saying
respect
words.
elders.
Okay. Right. So what is playway method? Now, you might have seen in the FB that Japanese children, Chinese children, they are taught different things using the playway method. Now, recently I saw that there's a fire and all the children get away from that. And another thing that one child has got an electric shock, then others don't go touch him, and they use some instruments to help him to get away from that. So like that, they use some through play, they give them the message, right? That's a very important thing. What else? That any other examples that you can give to playway method? එක පෙන්නන්න සෙල්ලමේ. Yes. So when there's a fire or smoke, they don't go towards it to see what is it. They just go away from it. Right. They should use games that enable the children to learn good manners and identify the feelings of others. We have to arrange some games to teach them good manners and the feelings of others. Teach them to say sorry, thank you. Right? Children must be taught change their behavior in the right manner. If they show wrong behavior, you have to guide them to or behave in right manner. Day caregivers should not use a negative tone to correct the behavior of the children. I told you they have to use very soft voice to correct them. We should not punish them or threat them or scold them. We should not do that. Right. Okay. Anybody who identified a definition about counseling, tell me with the name of the counselor. I heard some definitions of counselors. Tell me. Yes, there was
Yeah,
also.
Carl
Yes,
Rogers.
Carl
Rogers.
Rogers.
Yes. He says that counseling, the process by which the structure of the self is relaxed in the safety of the client relationship with the therapist, and previously desired experience are perceived and then integrated into an altered self.
Okay. Are there any other definitions for about counseling? Any other person has told any definition? Given any definition about counseling?
Pepinski.
Yes. What has he told?
He said that counseling is that interaction which occurs between two individuals called counselor and client. It takes place in a professional settings and
Counselee.
yes, it takes place in a professional setting and is initiated and maintained to facilitate changes in the behaviors of client.
Okay, good. So now what we expect now, how many people are there in this counseling setting? How many people are there? Two. Who are these two?
The counselor and the counselee.
Oh, give me another name for counselee.
The
Client.
Client. So what is the ultimate goal of giving counseling? Ultimate goal is to change the
behavior of
the client. Good. Counseling is a professional service. So everybody can become guides. Even we also can become guides. But if we want to become counselors, we have to have a professional training. You have to undergo a professional training. So there are universities that give professional training, professional counseling. So counseling is the professional service provided to an individual who is facing a problem that the person wants to overcome the problem. It's a professional service. That word is very, very important. So it's an integral part, a central part in guidance. It's a part of guidance, right? The process of counseling helps an individual to find solutions to a problem. Who finds solution to the problem? Who finds solution to the problem of this client? How they may problem solutions hොයන්නේ? Who? The counselor? Client himself. Counselor is only facilitating him, only making the environment feasible to solve the problem. He doesn't give ready-made solutions. He just show you can do these things, and finally the solution should be identified by the client, him or herself. So then the ultimate goal of counseling is also, like guidance, overall development, total development of an individual. Right. So as you told, there are two people involving in counseling. They are counselor and the client. Right. Counselor is the professional who offers counseling service. So he or she should undergo a training, proper training. So these are the definitions given by different people. Okay, read what Willie and Andrew has told about counseling.
Counseling involves two individuals, one seeking help, another, a professionally trained person, helps solve problems to orient and direct him or her towards goals.
Very good. That is told by Willie and
Andrew.
Willie and Andrew, right? Next one, another one. Read the next definition.
Counseling is a dynamic and purposeful relationship between two people who approach a mutually defined problem with mutual consideration for each other to the end that the younger or less matured or more troubled of the two is aided to a self-determined resolution of its
Well,
problem.
again, it says that counseling helps the client to find solutions to his or her problem. Who has told that?
Brain.
Brain. Okay. Next one.
Counseling is helping a person to come to see who he really is, what he has and doesn't have, what he can do easily, what he can do with difficulty, and what he cannot do at all. It is a cross sharing of a human relationship with one who has for him a high regard, one who can offer him unconditional acceptance, but one who has no guarantees, no answers.
Right.
Abakar.
Okay, Abakar, right. Yes, another. There are two. Another one.
Counseling
Okay.
Counseling is a purposeful, reciprocal relationship between two people in which a trained person helps the
Which?
other to change himself or his environment.
Right. So then there are two people. One is a counselor, other one is a client. So counselor help the client to change himself, change the behavior, or change the environment. There are so many people: Lawrence M., Brammer, Everett, and Schuster. Right. Okay. Next one. Last one.
Counseling is a dynamic and purposeful relationship between the people in which procedures vary with the nature of the student's need.
Procedures vary.
With the nature of the student's need, but in which there is always mutual participation by the counselor and the students with the focus on self-classification and self-determination by the students.
Okay, good. Counseling is a dynamic, that means active and purposeful relationship. There's a purpose at the end, at the counseling, at the end of counseling, between the people in which procedures vary with the nature of the student's need. So the methods and all differ according to the student's need, but in which there is always mutual participation by the counselor and the students with the focus on self-classification and self-determination by the students. So that is the ultimate goal of counseling by Wren. Okay, there are some more. Shetzer and Stone. Another one, read it.
Counseling is an interaction process which facilitates meaningful understanding of self and environment and results in the establishment or clarification of goals and values for future behavior.
Okay, right. Next one.
Counseling is a process by which a troubled person is helped to tell and behave in a more personally satisfying manner through interaction with an uninvolved person, counselor, who provides information and reactions which stimulates the client to develop behavior which enable him to deal more effectively with himself and his environment.
Right. So that it was given by Edwin C. Lewis. Okay. Right. So counseling is a two-way process that involves two individuals. Who are these two individuals?
Counselor and
client. Right. Counselor and client. And mutual cooperation between them. Now, if the client doesn't like to have the counseling session? Can they have a counseling session if the client is reluctant to take part in the session?
No, they can't hold it.
Yeah, so they need the cooperation of both in order to have a counseling session. So counseling enables an individual to gain self-understanding and develop self-acceptance by the society. Self-acceptance is he has to accept himself, right? Self-acceptance. The aim of counseling is same as guidance. What is the aim of guidance? Total
Development.
Yeah, total personality development. Total sampurna. That means physical development, mental development, social development, emotional development, all. So this is the aim of counseling is also same as guidance. That is total development of personality. Counseling also helps an individual adjust to his or her environment. So through counseling also we help the client to adjust to the environment, conditions, and finally to lead a happy life. That's the most important thing. Counseling is a process that involves giving information. For what we need information? For what children need information? Advice and counseling. Yeah? For what purpose he gives information? Through counselor denne? What kind of thing? For what kind of information they give? Career counseling. So they give information about courses and what are the qualifications required. How can they complete the qualifications? Sometimes if they have personal problems, they are given advice. Right? Counseling is not judgmental. It is not only giving advice. It is not to resolve problem. Why? Who solve problems? Is that the counselor resolve their problems?
No, client himself or herself.
What is the task of the counselor?
He will just give the guidelines.
Yes, he facilitates the client to find solutions to his or her problems. The three main activities that make up counseling are, what are they? Informing, right? Counselor gives information to the client, and advising, right? So then the counselor says the right actions to be taken to solve the problems. Then counselor helps the client to understand his or her needs and providing necessary help for the client to take the right decisions. From everything that what they do is they help the client to find solutions to their problems. Counseling entails assisting a person. So main idea of counseling is to help a person so that the individual can face any challenging situation with a positive frame of mind, right? So then when counseling assists a person, so individual can face any challenging situation without any fear, and he can build up positive mind. Counseling helps to alleviate negative responses. Alleviate means eradicate negative responses to a problem and enables an individual to overcome the problem. So anyway, that if we take the gist of this, counseling helps a person to find solutions to the problems and to think positive manner. Negative and counseling helps to eradicate negative responses to a problem and help them to overcome the problem by creating positive solutions. Right. So if I talk about the summary that we have discussed, counseling is a mutual relationship between two people. Who are these two people?
Client and the counselor.
Right. So what is the special thing we need to consider about the counselor rather than when we compare with guide?
He should be a
Professionally trained person.
A professionally trained, professionally qualified person to help the counselor. Huh? Right. So then they both counsel and the client have a discussion. How a discussion can take place if both agree, right? Now, if the client feels, no, I don't want to get the service of the counselor, there won't be any relationship with them. There won't be any positive activity happening between them. So, counseling is a face-to-face relationship. So they sit in front of each other and they discuss about the problems. And it has a professional aspect. How does it give a professional aspect? Professional aspect එකක් දෙලා තියෙන කොහොමද? Because counselor is a professional aspect එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද? Because counselor is a
Counselor is a professionally
Professional.
trained
Is-
person.
professional person. He has undergone a professional training. Okay. Right. So areas of counseling. What are the areas of counseling? Education. Right. Students during their school years face several problems related to education, learning and teaching. What are these problems? Tell me some of the problems they encounter, the students. We discussed previously also. What are they? Tough timetable. Then
Problems
heavy
regarding some of
workload.
the subjects.
Emotional imbalance.
Emotional imbalance. Yes. Problems regarding, what's that, Mutha?
Some of the subjects,
Yes.
difficult subjects.
They can't follow certain subjects. Punishments by the teachers, bullying by peers,
Family problems, personal problems.
family problems, personal problems, then yes,
They can't
psychological.
understand the lesson.
Yes, understand
Exam fears. Some
the
students
lesson.
have
Memory
exam
problems.
fears.
So exam phobia. Yes, exam phobia. Right. So then such problems are addressed by educational counseling and by counselor who are experts and experienced in the specific area. So the counselor should be expert person and experienced person in the specific area to help the children. Educational counseling provides workshops and special programs. Right now, as an example, they can conduct seminars, how to answer the paper, time management, selecting questions. Right. Then help students to learn study skills and life skills. Help students to set achievable goals. We discussed last week. Their children should have achievable goals. If the child is very weak in English and mathematics, and if he wants to become a pilot, so it is not an achievable aim. So then teachers or counselors should help them to build up achievable goals and aims. Achieve කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා මේ ගොඩනගා ගන්න උදව් කරන්න. Counselors support the client in their academic success, such as to overcome exam phobia, anxiety, procrastination. What is procrastination? What do you mean?
Postponing the works.
Yeah, postponing the work. So what will happen if you keep on postponing the work?
Workload.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
the workload piles up every day. Unbearable workload. It becomes unbearable. So counselor also guide the client in understanding and interpreting educational problems. Sometimes they don't understand. Now, certain problems that they can't understand, they have that problem, right? So the teacher or the counselor should understand the problem the child has and let them interpret it. Let them tell their problems. If they understand, only they can tell. So let them understand it first. Right. Then next one, family counseling. So what do you mean by family counseling?
The problems that
Counseling is
occurs after the marriage.
Yes, after the marriage, and that it is given to whom? Family counseling is given to whom?
both husbands and wives,
Yeah.
and
Even those who are about to get married, before the marriage, sometimes they have problems. So in such cases, they get family counseling. Right? Before the marriage, ඒගොල්ලෝ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න වලට ඒගොල්ලෝ marriage කරන කලින් මේගොල්ලෝ counselor කෙනෙක් So then what are the reasons for the need of family counseling? Why do they need family counseling?
To avoid the problems in future which might
Yes,
occur.
because they have misunderstanding.
They
Sometimes,
might end up with divorce or something like that.
yes, certain problems that sometimes it's minute problem. The solutions are very simple, but they go for divorce and they want to separate, right? So then sometimes they need psychotherapy, right? Sometimes they suspect. There are people that who suspect the other one too much. And I must be a suspect. So then these people should be given psychotherapy. It may help to promote better relationship and understanding within the family. So thereby, counselor can build up good understanding among the family members. It may be incident specific as divorce, death of a family member, when a family member suffers a physical or mental illness that affects the others, everybody in a negative manner. Imagine now there's a drunkard or a person who consumes drugs. So then it becomes a problem for the whole family. Family counselors handle such problems and provide necessary solutions to the problem. So make an provide solutions. They may only help to find solutions to the problems, right? Family counselors handle such problems and help to find necessary solutions to the problem. Right. What is psychological counseling? Counseling given to psychological problems. What are psychological problems children have? What are psychological problems? Stress.
Fear.
Phobia for something.
Abda?
Phobias.
Phobias, yes, especially exam phobia, phobia for
Yeah.
animals, insects. Right, phobias. What else?
Fear.
Stress, fear. Stress means that if they have a lot of workload, high workload, they get stress, depression, right? So it helps to handle the relationship. Sometimes when they break up, their love affairs, when they break up, they can't bear up. So the counselors help them to make up their minds. Deal with stress and other pressures. When they have heavy workload, they have a lot of pressure. Then counselors help to resolve the fears, phobias, anxiety. Cope with family problems. Cope means face the family problems, to work through difficult situations. Work through depression and sadness, to develop creativity, self-exploration, find path for self-discovery. They go for self-exploration. Right? Psychology counseling aims to manage the difficulties and transform personal problems into personal growth. So they transform these personal problems into personal growth. Problem එක ඒගොල්ලන් සංවර්ධනයකට අරන් යනවා. It will help people to keep relationships, deal with stress and other pressures. Right. So this is the psychology counseling. So now up to now, if you have any problem, tell me. If you don't understand anything.
Madam, excuse me. Madam, if they ask a question like what is counseling in the sense, we can write any author's definition, or at the meantime, we can write our own definition also, na ma'am?
Yes, you can write your own definition, but it's better if you can write, now you read all the definitions, and if you can remember one definition, you remember. So anyway, counseling is that the basic is, it's a relationship between the professional counselor and the client, right? It is a relationship between two people, a professional counselor and a client. If it includes that, you can remember a definition based on whatever the person, it doesn't matter.
Ma'am, another question. When they ask a specific definition. I mean, write this definition said by this person. Don't we don't need to by heart all the words
No,
near
no,
that.
no. They don't
I mean,
ask questions like that. They can't ask,
right now.
how can you by heart all these definitions? My goodness.
Yeah.
No, even that when we set our paper for guidance and counseling, we write a question. So write a suitable definition for guidance and counseling.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, then you can remember one definition that includes that made basic things, and you feel that this is the best definition. Okay. Any other thing you need to get clarified? That's all. You don't have any other problems?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay.
In addition to that question, is it necessary to write lengthy answer or short answers?
That
Or it
depends.
depends.
No, because that you need to, when you are given a paper, you need to consider about, now sometimes they give the question, briefly explain. They don't write, don't keep on writing pages and pages. Briefly explain means what one paragraph would be enough, and you have to consider the marks that is given. If it is 2 marks, no need of writing pages and pages. If it is 4 marks, even that you need to write a small paragraph. The gist should be there, because when people are marking, they don't like to read pages and pages. I can remember that when you were marking the paper, one sir was telling, වල් කොටලා තමයි මේ උත්තරේ හොයාගන්න ඕනේ කියලා. That means they have written so many unnecessary things. So no need of doing that. එහෙම වුණොත් අර කියවන්නත් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ මිනිස්සු. When we are marking papers, write the most important thing in a paragraph. That would be enough. Don't keep on writing. What else? First you look into the the marks, right? So if it is a very small amount, that you don't need to bother of writing lengthy answers. More explanation is needed for marks with six marks or more than that. Any other thing you want to get clarified? That's all. Can we wind up the session today?
Okay, I am okay, ma'am.
Yes. So did you receive the previous PowerPoint presentations?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I will send this also today, right? Okay. Right. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.